Street, a Mum Nation podcast.
All right, we are back, season 2, because every one of you out there that are watching right now or listening right now, we're so supportive of the first time around of doing this. You guys really made it fun, to be honest with you, and we were so thrilled with the amount of money that we were able to raise. All of you helped with that because, you know, your continued watching, your continued comments, your continued listening made people want to sponsor, made us be able to hand off a lot of really nice donations to all of our mummers, organizations and things like that we wanted to support and give back to. And I believe Billy Bryan may have told you that we were the biggest donator to the museum. I think
yes, for the year. Yes,
for the year. So they deserve it. And you probably can't tell from the shot, but there was a lot of redoing in this main hall and beyond, and it looks awesome. It looks fresh and
clean.
For some reason, it looks bigger and brighter in here. Like we said, you can't see it in here in this shot, but come down and check it out because it is really, really worth it. And we're happy that we could play a small part in helping with that. And we're just excited to be back. We have a lot of really cool guests and ideas lined up for the episodes throughout the mum season this year. And we're going to give you lots of good words on the street out there this year. See, I got that in there.
Snuck it in.
Yep. Now we have some great sponsors already and great events coming up that we're going to discuss right now. So, Haley, you got some stuff?
Yeah, so shout out to our sponsor of today's episode, which is Ojung's. If you've been keeping up with us over the summer, you may have seen our check-in with them. So thank you to Ojung's for sponsoring today's episode and your very generous donation. Also for the Mum Museum here, obviously, like Mike said, come check it out. It looks fantastic. While you're here, they are having a summer sale for their engraved bricks. They're only $100. So now until Labor Day, you can place your order for a brick. Also, while you're here, you can stop by and actually still donate for school supplies. So anytime during normal business hours, you can stop by and donate anything for local schools around here. And then also coming up, we're a little early, but it's never too early to put it on your calendar. Saturday, October 11th is the Fall Festival here at the Mummers Museum. There's going to be vendors, food, games, bouncy houses for the kids, all that, live string band entertainment. That is Saturday, October 11th from 12 to 6.
That is a good time.
Yeah, I think you came here last year.
Yeah, that was a really fun day.
We'll have to come this year. I think we missed it.
Definitely. You'll notice not only new things with the Mummy Museum, but some new things and updates with the way that our look looks like it within the show. Some new graphics, some new things like that. We're trying to, improve every time we do this and give you guys some good things to look at and listen to. And aside from guests this year, like I said, we have some really fun things lined up. Not so typical things that are really different that we're having a lot of fun with. We even have some merch now. I don't know if you can see it in the shop, but we got some stuff thanks to Mrs. Yoakum, right? We got some stuff done. So there you go. If all your orders can go right to Billy, so text them and blow them up and get all the merch out there. But we have a great guest tonight. Dennis Quayle is down with us. Legendary mummer. We've had some big names on this show already in our short lifespan, but this is a real big one and somebody that I'm very excited to talk to. Have never had a chance to speak to him, sit down with him ever. So I'm really looking forward to kind of getting a one-on-one or 3-on-1, I guess.
Actually has
with
ties
him.
to all of our clubs.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Which is, I think he has ties to pretty much
every division
out there.
Yeah.
But before we get into him, we do have a little bit of a discussion we want to have now. Like you'll hear this at the end too, but don't forget one thing to always do with all the episodes here is to comment, to get your thoughts out there, because we love to talk about them on the show. We love whatever the comment is, right? As long as it's appropriate, don't get weird. But we love to talk about it and discuss it. But since this is episode 1, we don't have any yet. But we thought about a great topic that's always brought up around the bars and all the clubs and all this stuff, especially around this time of year, moving in to the season. And that is, does the parade need fixing? Right. And what we mean by, we say parade, right? But what we mean by parade, and I think everybody can kind of universally agree with this, is we're talking about New Year's Day, right? The event and everything that happens, all the happenings within New Year's Day, January 1st. Does that need fixing, right? Does it need a complete overhaul? Does it need little tweaks here and there, right? What is the answers? I don't know. I'm sure you guys have opinions. We have ours. Right, no right answers, no wrong answers, but we're gonna sit and talk about it a little bit in depth just before Dennis gets here, and see what we think. So we do have a poll associated with this for our Spotify poll, and Haley.
Yeah, brought to you by Jewelry by Joseph, who is the official jeweler of Mum Nation. Today's poll is: do you think the parade will officially change within the next 5 years? So by 2031, technically, but like, by that time, do you think an actual change will happen? Will the parade even still be around? That's another topic of discussion that's been going around. Like, what will that look like?
Answer the poll and give us your thoughts. We'll come back to it. Again, we always refer to it as the parade, right? But I think, again, that usually generally, refers to New Year's Day as a whole, all the mummers happenings. But the first thing that crosses my mind is, can we even consider this like a singular event anymore? You think in the old school days, right? Everything, Marconi Plaza, all the way down, and even beyond City Hall, right? You used to go around and go down the other side of City Hall.
See everything.
Spend the day. Yeah.
But is this one event anymore? First off, let's start there.
No, I think it's more of a competition and shows.
Yeah,
I guess
it's almost like a showcase.
But is it even one? Is it even one competition anymore? You know what I mean? Think about where the brigades are, where the string bands are, where the wenches start, right?
It seems like it's all over the place. The wenches, I don't even think they have a clue on where they're going. They're pointed in directions. String bands, I have no idea. What do you guys do? Get off the bus?
Well, the string bands usually start between JFK and Market Street, right?
You get 4 or 5 practices in.
Well, it really depends on how many times you want to run through it before you move up, because it's similar to the convention center in the way that every club has its own stall, right? It's like it's noted on the ground, right? And I think it's like, just say I don't know what it is, 2 clubs per block, right? Like, just say something like that.
I've never been up there to say, because we're always busy.
But I will get into it. But I think there's certain problems associated with that way of doing things. We'll get into it as we discuss. But to me, like, my personal opinion on this particular topic is, no, I don't think it is a singular event anymore. But to take that one further, is it a positive or a negative that it's not one event anymore? Or is it kind of 6 in 1,
I
don't know. That's a tough one.
I think it's the negative, because I feel like when, especially people that come in here and are tourists or not as familiar, so you're inviting your family in or whatever, and they don't know about it, and they're going to see the Mummers Parade. First off, when I think parade, I think street. So whoever you're seeing on the street, first, I would argue it's not even really a parade, to be honest.
Well, I think that, yeah.
But whoever's on the street, I feel like, is what people come to see, or knowing to come see. I feel like that means maybe the brigades aren't as publicized or as seen or whatever, or you're only going for the bands and you're not really seeing the comics or the wenches. Like, you're going early in the morning to see XYZ, you're not maybe sticking around to see the brigades or like whatever. I feel like you're not getting everything that there is to offer in that like 5-block radius around City Hall when you could be. And I think it's because the parade is not constructed in a way that permits that.
In order for like a tourist, let's say, to see the entire parade, they would have to be up there first thing in the morning, see the comics, hang out, see the string bands, and then pack up their family and shoot over to the convention center for the second show.
Hopefully you got a ticket.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
It's a big ask to ask somebody to, I don't know, if I was coming to watch the parade, you have to make a choice. It's kind of like when you're going to Disney. Are you going to Magic Kingdom, or are you going to Epcot? Are you going to the convention center, or are you going to City Hall? You really can't see both to fully appreciate it unless you're watching it on TV, which takes us down to the numbers are getting lower and lower and lower. But you can't really blame them, because if I had the option of being up there and parking and being out in the cold or being home, and my home is right on 2nd Street, I mean, I'm there too.
I'm actually gonna bring this point. So I do think there is some persisting issues If you think there are any, let us know. What do you think a persisting issue is year after year after year that you believe needs to be fixed? What do you think the answer is? If you have a solution or you have an idea, let us hear it. I want to hear what you got. But my one problem that I have that's year after year, and it's a debate that I even have with myself. Should it be on TV? Or should it be live on TV? Because there's been a thing for years, right? There's not enough people at the parade. Oh, we don't get enough people at the parade, but you can watch it everywhere. Oh, people stay home. But every single year we fight if there's not a TV contract. We got to get the TV contract or streaming or whatever, this, that, or the other. My personal thing is I'm not saying it shouldn't be recorded. I'm not saying it shouldn't be broadcast, right? I don't think it needs to be when it's happening, right? Like if you want to be there in the moment and you want to catch it live with all the excitement of seeing the lights and the best performance for the judges and for the crowd, like I personally think you should have to go see that.
Yeah.
I think you should have to go see that because there are people, not everybody. It's not a cure all what I'm about to say, but I think there are some people that will definitely not wait to watch it. There is going to be people that are like, it's not on TV live. I got to go. I have to go. Right. There'll be a percentage of people that will come that don't now. Right. It's not, some people are going to say, I don't care. I'll just wait. Right.
Yeah.
But for the small percentage of people that would come instead, I'll take that. And it might be a bigger percentage of people than you think. That's what I think. I don't think it needs to be live.
I miss the days of like, I mean, I'm speaking from when I was a kid and watching my dad and everything on TV. Like, I miss when you would have the 11 or 12 o'clock show, the 5 o'clock show, and then you'd sit down at 8 o'clock to watch the Fancy Brigades because, like, I'm getting the updates from my dad during the day. I mean, I was a pretty young kid at this point. And then you sit down and you're like, prizes are about to come out realistically while the TV's on. Like just as you're basically finishing up the broadcast, you found out the prize. So you're sitting there and you're getting so excited, but like you kind of heard all the chatter throughout the day and now you finally get to see it if you weren't there. And I just feel like that excitement, like you got to enjoy the live aspect and you got to fully enjoy the broadcast too if you were home. It wasn't like one or the other or, oh, the connection's so shitty on the stream. That starts to ruin, I think, some of the at-home experience, or if you're on the go or, you know, you are still out on the street for whatever reason. Like, I feel like you're not getting the full TV element anymore either. It's like you're somewhere in between and neither is being fully satisfied.
Let me ask you your two opinions on this, because this is just a fly on the wall idea that I've heard floated around from who I couldn't really say. It's just, you know, something I've heard. Do you think that it's good that it's produced to the level that it is, whether it's live or not, right? But let's say, for example, it's live and that's not going to change, right? Do you think that there is benefit to it being broadcast with the production value that it has? Because I believe the production value could make people stay home to watch it. Or do you think that it would be beneficial maybe to say, let's just throw up like a wide shot, fly on the wall type camera where you can get a quote live look in of what's going on, you know, down at City Hall or the convention center. And that's about as good as you get. If you want to see, you know, the glitz and the glamour, you got to come see it. You know what I mean?
I think we're a victim of society as a whole right now because nobody goes out anymore. Nobody goes outside. You go by a park and it's empty. So if you're out, people are in the houses 364 days a year. You really can't expect them to be out on that last day. They're not going to be there.
First day.
Yeah, or the first day. When they can be in the house and when you're, and there's no bad seats when you're in the house watching it on TV.
That's what I mean. Like therethere's no bad seats when you're in the house. You get all the pretty shots. You get the wide. It goes into the captain. There's, oh, look at that costume.
I wish they would just leave it. Don't zoom in on a guy's feet. No. Zoom in, show the pretty captain suit, and then zoom out and show the show.
Right.
I think that would make the product
so basically,
a little better.
you're almost making my point. Like I've heard people say, like, if we're going to stream it, like, why don't we just like throw up a camera? It's wide, it's in the back, and you kind of just do like a live feed from
replicate
wherever we are. You know, like kind of the best example that I can give of that is like, if anybody ever watched Dancing with the Stars on ABC, they used to, my mom would watch it all the time and I would watch it. My dad would watch it, whatever. It's like totally like something mummers would check out, right? You watch
of course, you look for ideas.
So they would do something where if you logged on to 6abc.com, right, when they went to commercial break on TV, the streaming had like a live shot that was just like a wide shot that you saw what was going on in
Right.
the room. And me as a production minded person and everything like that, I would always go on that when I'm like, that's pretty cool. You get like
That'd be pretty neat if they had a camera in the back.
I was just
Convention
gonna
center.
say that would be such a good idea if they had like behind the scenes
It's chaos, but at the same time, it's not chaos.
okay, so let me ask you this then. Going in that direction, putting it backstage, right? Do you think there's any benefit to do that where people would say, I didn't know it was like this deep. I got to see
It
this.
would make it more
Do
interesting.
you think
I
people would be more inclined to see it live if they knew all the stuff that went on behind it?
Yeah.
We might be on something.
See, I kind of agree with that too. Like, again, sometimes when you're doing research on YouTube or whatever, and you're looking at inspiration from a Broadway show or inspiration from a movie, what interests me more, right? Because you start to go down the rabbit hole, and you're off the topic of even research, and you find like those Broadway walkthroughs, like from Broadway.com, where they're like taking you through the locker rooms or the dressing rooms, whatever. You're like, oh, this is really interesting. And I'm like, oh, now I'm not even researching. I'm just like watching videos. And you're like, man, now I kind of want to see this show because you saw them put the makeup on, right? If you saw that.
It's kind of like when beginning of the Super Bowl, when they're talking about the game and in the background, you see the guys practicing, kicking the ball around. That would be neat if they were.
Or even just them setting up like the halftime show. You're like, oh, it's coming. Like this. Oh, what are they going to do with that? Like,
exactly.
It whets your appetite.
So the bottom line, I think, and you let us know what you think, or you comment your own opinions, is it's a great event to see live, but I don't think we entice people to see it live. I think right now it's just stagnant. If you see it live now, you go and see it live. That's your tradition. If you watch it on TV, that's what you do.
It's not pushed enough.
We're not doing anything to get. Yeah. Well, let me finish my point. We're not doing anything to get people there. But when it is pushed, I feel like it's pushed from a television broadcast side. Yeah. Like whoever broadcasted when it used to be 17, right? They would run the promos for the parade, but it was to tune into Channel 17 on New Year's Day, which I don't blame them. They're going to push their own ratings, right? And it was like their biggest ratings day of the entire year when they had it on their network. But they're not going to get anybody to come down to the parade. That part is on us as the division.
Yes.
But these next 2 points that I'm going to bring up are things I noted down earlier, because these are points that I have heard just from being around, like not from any one singular person, just from a conglomerate of hearing it over and over again. Get your opinions. Should the divisions remain split, or is there a benefit to intermixing them throughout the event? For example, what I mean by that is, should you watch the performances unravel as, say, string band, brigade, wench, string band, whatever the order is, right? Should we intermix them, or do you think it's a better viewing experience to watch them all one division, all one division, all one division, or do you think it would hold more interest to some type of mix?
I'd keep them together so you can see the competition that you're up against.
I agree with that, because it is easier to gauge back to back to back. However, I would say from association standpoints, I think intermixing it would be better in the long run, because I feel like you would maintain an audience, you would maintain fans. I think you would keep interest. Say, like, if you only grew up in the brigades and you only watch the brigades, but you play an instrument, or you want to play an instrument, and you don't really have anyone in your family that does that, but this string band's coming on after and I get to watch that, it might pique your interest. So it might gain more traction overall.
In order to do that, though, wouldn't you have to pre-tape?
Well, that leads me into a question that I was going to ask, because I also am in the camp of believing that if you intermixed it, there would be some benefit to it. But here's the thing. Building off of what you just said, to play the other side of that, if you're going to intermix it, where do you do it?
Right.
Do you do it all where the intermixing is live? Do you do it where the entire thing is tape delayed, and then you put a string band on, and then a brigade on from the convention center, and then a wench? Like, essentially, in real time, do you let it play out the way it is? And do you only edit it intermixed, or do you actually intermix the event? Which means somebody's got to go inside or somebody's got to come outside.
Right.
Right. How do you do that? And what's the answer? Right. I don't know if we have that answer or the logistics to it, but leads you to the point of, is there enough working together between all the divisions? I say absolutely no. There's not enough.
Unfortunately.
No, I don't think there is.
And what's funny to me, you guys can agree or disagree, and you guys can agree or disagree. everybody claims, oh, we're first and foremost, we're mummers, first and foremost, we're all a family, what's that and the other. The day I feel the most separated is New Year's Day, and that is the one day that I feel like every single division cares about their division and they care about nobody else, because the brigades care about the brigades and what they have to achieve, and the string bands care about what they got to do. And I think the wenches are, and the comics as their own respective divisions, probably are the most open. I think, because
Yeah.
I just don't think they care about any. They're there for fun. They're there to have a good time. They're there to put on a good
They're
show.
like the most true mummers.
Yeah,
They're doing it the right way,
Yeah.
actually.
yeah, and they don't care about anything else. That's what they're there for. The prize, at least to me anyway, is meaningful to them, but it seems secondary to them. They're there to entertain and have fun, and that's really what we should all be there to do. But I feel like, when you have the convention center bill, you got to fill the seats. So if you're going to fill the seats and you're going to charge this amount of money, the shows have to be on a certain level. The string bands sort of kind of have the same thing going, right? Because they got to sell tickets for that. And it's like, all right, well, then we got to make sure that we're putting on a show of a certain level. And then there's also the selfishness of the competition where, we got to beat them, or we can't let them beat us, right?
Right.
There's that too. And that's all part of the friendly competition. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be competition, right? Because I think we all agree that competition keeps
It keeps
it interesting,
yeah,
right? I'm not,
absolutely.
don't get me wrong. I'm not saying take that away, but I just think that there needs to be more sit down working together between all the divisions. And I know that there used to be, I'm not saying that there's not now. I just think some of the issues that are brought up could be solved if we didn't step on our own foot.
I think a lot of the problem is that some divisions think they're more important than other divisions.
Yeah, but that who is more important depends on who you're asking.
Exactly.
Because some people, and I'm just going to use this as an example. Some people you ask in the brigades will say, oh, well, the string bands think they're more important.
Yep.
Some people in the brigades say they're the best. Oh, the brigades are the best. That's what everybody comes out for. Somebody in the string bands could have those two opinions in the complete opposite. And it's few and far between when you find somebody that's like, like people come out and they want to see both. Like we're two great divisions. Everybody wants to see both of those shows.
I think if we approach the city united, I think we could accomplish a lot more.
What the funny thing is that, right? Like, and we've said this a few times on this show, is that one of the fastest growing divisions is the wenches, right? The comics don't seem to be struggling either. They seem like they got a pretty good membership. And most of those battles and complaints, right? You don't ever hear from them.
No.
They just go and do their thing, and they're growing and growing.
And not
every
only
year.
they're growing, they are, but then you look and you see the other divisions and they're just losing membership.
Yeah.
They're dropping in numbers. Like something, I mean, it either is people that are migrating over to the wenches or comics, which could be for a multitude of reasons, which one of them is not surprising is money.
Money.
But, and time too.
Well,
but
what's funny is, some people in the, I'm not saying all, but some people in the brigades claim they're the best. Some people in the string bands claim they're the best. And the comics division and the wench division are going to be the ones sitting back laughing when they're the only two divisions left because they didn't eat each other alive and they just go out and have a good
We're
time.
bankrupted ourselves too. I mean,
Wow.
$2,000 or $3,000. It's a lot of money. And then, you have a son or two sons or a daughter. And next thing you know, you have to drop out of a suit
Well,
because you got to pay for 3 other suits.
The funny thing is, before I go into our second point here that I noted down, is that you hear all the time, I'm sure you both have heard it, I've heard it, is it's just these shows are getting ridiculous. Everything's getting out of hand, blah, blah, blah. We're literally the ones that make them.
We do it. Exactly.
And I love when somebody's like, well, yeah, but if we stop doing it, then you're hurting yourself. Like who
no
cares?
one's holding a gun to your head to keep spending like
that comment
70
of
grand, 100 grand, like
that comment of if we don't do it, we're going to hurt ourselves means to me that you're confirming that you're only doing this for the prize.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I'm not saying that we all don't want to do good. Don't get me wrong. We all want to do good, no matter what division you're in. It doesn't matter what division. Everyone wants the satisfaction of saying what I worked on for X amount of months was recognized as the best or close to the best or whatever. Always feels better than not doing good. But it's not why
I
we do
also
it.
feel like the whole opportunity of money you'll see some of the divisions. I mean, some people, it seems like they have endless money to throw at this. and obviously that's not the case for everyone, but it almost is like you're just buying a win, or you're trying to buy a win, or whatever. And
Comes
it's like,
off that way
sometimes
yeah.
like working within what is realistically your means can push creativity, can push, that ingenuity of things. And it's like working just to put on the best that you can do and hopefully not go completely bankrupt. Is more telling of what you have to offer than just buying a product to win.
So the next point on the list is something that I've heard, again, from multiple people. Do we move away from New Year's Day?
Now that's been discussed. There's somebody in our club that had a plan of us, the brigades, doing our judge show on New Year's Eve. And then New Year's Day, we just go out and have a good time. And then they release the results. Would that work? I don't know. When he talks about it, he makes it really
doesn't sound bad, because then at least you can have a parade too.
So,
actually,
to me, right, I don't know if I mean, I get it. I do see where you're coming from with it. But to me, I don't think that really changes anything, because then New Year's Eve just becomes your New Year's Day.
Well, you're not in competition with the string band people.
You're not, but
are people going to go up there 2 days in a row?
No, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. You'll get the people that are diehard brigade fans that only see the brigades now. They'll still come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It would make a funner New Year's. I mean, a real good time is when the parade's canceled, then we perform anyway. And then 2002, whenever we did Scottish.
3.
Three? Is that what it was? 4, whatever. The parade was canceled and we performed and they held the results. So you didn't know if you won or you lost. And we went out on New Year's Day and we had a ball.
Yeah. But I mean, then you run into like, people are coming out to the parade, right? Because the string bands would still be New Year's. Everybody else would still be New Year's Day, right? So then you're running the risk of two things. One, there's brigade people now that talk about how doing the parade is a waste. There is. And that's sad to hear that people think that way. Like, I don't even know why we bother going out on Broad Street. It's a waste of time, right? Is when it's a day removed from your competition, is that attitude going to get any better for people that think it's a waste now? And on top of that, in my opinion, and last season when Butchie was here, he brought up this point. He cannot stand, and neither can I, and I don't think any of us can, when a brigade person, and I'm pinpointing the brigades because it seems to be a problem in the brigades, goes out on the street half dressed.
Yeah.
You're doing that on a day that you're literally coming straight from competition. I can only imagine how much worse that's going to look when it's a day removed and you know you have nothing
to do it
important
for.
to do.
Yeah.
So drinking aside, right? Because we already know a day that you're not going to be in competition, and a day added on now to that whole, you're probably just drinking New Year's Eve right now. Now you're hungover and you're drinking again, 3/4 of the way dressed, and people are going, "Oh wow, can't believe I came out to see this." Like, I think there's a lot of negative that can go with that. Now, to go back to the original point, right? Do we move away from New Year's Day? I have heard from somebody before an idea to do it in the spring, because they believe that part of the reason that we don't get a draw is because it's too cold. The weather is not conducive to have a live outdoor audience sit out there for X amount of hours to see it.
I'm a traditional.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not the tradition.
I wouldn't be a mummer anymore.
Well, here's the thing. So let me ask you this. I feel like you kind of answered, but I'm going to ask the question anyway, and you answer the question too. What is the tradition? What we do or when we do it? Because if you took the entire thing as is and moved it to April 1st instead of January 1st, does anything about what we do or what we are change?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I think it does.
Think it does?
You bring in the new year.
Yeah.
You start the year on that positive note. You set the tone for the city.
Yeah.
It's like a whole welcoming kind of like welcome of the new year.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I agree. I do for us, but just say, to play the other side, right? This went into effect. We're now doing everything we do New Year's Day 3 months later, right? 20 years from now, 30 years from now, right? If the tradition is still going, we're still doing that. those newcomers, no different, and their April 1st is just as important as January 1st is to them. You know what I mean? I think for years there would be people that were like, this just feels weird. Like I don't like this, but I think it would be something that would not be immediately received. A lot of people would be unhappy with it, fans and performers, but I think eventually, just like anything else, it would just become normal.
Well, can it be a federal holiday?
Wow.
I don't think it would ever become normal to me because the new format that we have now on Broad Street. We're what 27 years into doing a convention center and then going out. I still don't like it. I can't get used to it.
You don't want like what, the convention center?
No,
Or-
the whole. I liked before when you went out and we went up Marconi Plaza and you did Broad Street, and I know that that's never going to work again. I don't know what the solution is. It's not taking it away from New Year's Day.
No, I
Absolutely
agree. I'm just weighing all the options
Right.
here. I don't think it would even work because I think it's too established at this point to be what it is. Plus, I do agree. I mean, it's part of the tradition. We're New Year shooters, right?
Right.
That's how it started. I think it would lose a little something, but I do think it's not
Would
a
you
bad
still
idea.
do it?
I would do it whatever day it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you?
I mean, I don't know. It's hard to picture life not doing it. So, but I feel like personally, I like when, I mean, I don't like the bitter cold, but I feel like being layered up in your suit on the street, braving the weather a little bit, being like freezing on 2nd Street at night. I feel like that's also part of the tradition.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I agree. Would you guys do it no matter when it was, or would you be like Billy over here and
I'll be down the shore watching
sitting
it
on
on
the
TV
couch
with that
watching it on
shitty
TV?
I also
There
feel
you go.
like too, switching it, just say went to the spring or any other time of the year, like that time after Christmas, and for me, like to my birthday in mid-January, like that is such a, you don't know what day it is, like it's just holiday time. Like it just, the holidays to me is Christmas and New Year's because of the mummers.
Right.
I wouldn't care about New Year's otherwise,
Yeah,
to be honest.
I actually agree with the fact that the main reason that I wouldn't want to move it isn't because we wouldn't be doing it on New Year's Day. It's because I enjoy the
2
week
week
of the holiday
like,
where it's,
yeah.
you're kind of like slow or off from work, depending. Not everybody, but it's a lot easier of a time of year to kind of do all that and make it fun. And yeah, I personally wouldn't want to move it. I mean, I'm sure there's probably benefits of doing it in better weather, but it's not the case. Make it work and be creative in the cold, I guess.
There's a solution out there. Nobody just.
Well, that
Nobody
leads
knows
us
it.
to our last point, which some people are in this camp, and let us know if you're one of them. Are we in need of a complete overhaul? The route, how
Yes.
we do it, whatever. Yes?
Yes.
I would say yeah.
Yes?
Yeah. It's got to be
350.
fixed. It's broke. It's not even needs to be tinkered anymore. It's broke.
Mhm.
And we don't like it. The people don't like it. So I don't know what the solution
I mean,
is.
you're never going to please everyone.
Never.
But it's hard because we do pay for this. We do try to enjoy it. We want to get the most out of it. But you're never going to survive, dealing with the city if you don't have public backing. So if you're not doing it at the end of the day to hopefully please the public, it's not going to work. It's going to fold.
And I think, in my opinion, that is something that we've struggled with for years now. We don't do it for the public or what's best for them. It just defaults to, I think, one, it doesn't change for selfish reasons, right? People just, whatever, like they care the most about the judging and they don't really care to change it. But I think another reason is just, it is the way it is, and it's easier to leave it the way it is and it be so than it is to put in the effort to really change it. And I know the city doesn't back it the way it used to or whatever. So it's not the easiest thing. It's a lot easier said than done, is what I'm trying to say.
absolutely.
I think there's also probably the elephant in the room of fear of if it were to go back to the drawing table with the city involved, the city would just scrap it.
Well, I
I
don't
feel
even
like
know if they're
that's
involved enough to scrap it at this
Well,
point. I mean, I know they can. I know they can always say like, "Well, you're just not getting the permit," but that's a whole other
We
issue.
have a really pretty protest.
Yeah, well, that's a whole other issue that we won't get into tonight because Mr. Dennis Quayle is in the Mum Museum studio with us tonight.
He's back.
And yes, he's back, and we are very, very excited to see what he has to say I've been looking forward to this all day. Been looking forward to this for quite a while now because we've had him scheduled up for a while.
I'm excited to just get back and start bullshitting.
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Back into that whole mummer feel.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah. So let's get him in here. I've been ready for a while, so let's get it going. Mr. Dennis Quayle for episode 1.
Next up on Word on the Street.
The Jokers were given Preacher's Double Feature before Stars were. I don't know if you knew that.
That I knew.
Yes. And afterwards, I said to Fred, you had it first. He said, yeah, but I didn't know it was going to be that good. And I was like, come on, man.
Billy Oakham, Haley Heron, and Mike Jacobs. Produced by Haley Heron and Mike Jacobs. Producer Brian Donnelly. Thank you to Cheyenne McLean.